Hi creatives, how are you all doing? Dimma here, and on today's tutorial I'll be sharing with you how I made this beautiful gown that you can see on the screen. It's so lovely, and here I'm trying to show how I finished up the tip of the lacing. You can see it's a very beautiful gown. It's a kimono dress with lacing at the waist. You can lace it up, you can also leave it to be free like that. If this sounds like what you're interested in knowing how I did it, then come with me as I show you how. Now here I've already made my basic foundations, the basic bodice block, the front and back, then the skirt part, the front and the back skirts. If you don't know how to make these basic foundations, I'll be linking it up in the description box so that you can look at them and know exactly how I achieved them. Then having said that, the next thing we'll be doing is to alter the patterns. Okay, pattern alteration. Here I'm just trying to mark the bust point and then the bust to bust, just to get where the nipple point is. And the next thing I did was to just mark the side bust dart. That is all. Side bust dart, and then I'll be drawing a line from the shoulder straight on like this. Just watch closely, you see everything I did. I don't need the waist dart, that's why I left the waist. Now watch and see what I did. This is the back pattern, and there's a reason why I'm using this pattern this way, because I do not want the half length of the front. I want the front to maintain its half length. Okay, so now I'll be cutting open the side bust dart like so, and also the shoulder slash line. Then I'll close up the side bust dart and I will tape it down. That is all I did here. Fine, so this is it, and this is the back pattern. I'm still on the front. Watch closely to see what I'm doing. I have to be sure that I know what I'm adding. I have to be certain of what I'm adding. In fact, the best thing to do is to measure this your shoulder line before you open up the slash line, okay? Because what you'll be adding is the length of the sleeve, the length you want the sleeve to have. If you want the sleeve to be 10 inches and all that, just add it up to the length of this shoulder line, okay? So that you know the length that you need from the side of that neck to the length of your sleeve. I hope you understand. Now here I'm just marking 1¾ inches, okay, and 1¾ inches like so, and by the side of the neck there I will take ½ inch. Okay, I'm doing this to modify for the neckline that I will be putting there. Watch closely to see how I trued that part, I mean connected the lines. I couldn't do it with my pattern master, so I had to use my free hand to connect the points like so. Okay, I'll be cutting it out, and this will be the space I will leave for the collar. This dress has a collar. Now I took away 1¾ inches by that waistline, and that 1¾ inches will finally be the width of my collar. Mark this, note this please. Okay, now I'm cutting this out just like so. After I've cut it out, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and note where the dropping of the neck is. Very important. Okay, you note where the neck drop is and make sure that you mark it, because we'll be needing it later. So here I'm just going ahead to place my pattern just as you can see, and I'll be cutting it out. Place your pattern on your fabric and pin it down. This design took me approximately 4 yards to do, okay, and it's not like the client is a fat person, but she's just medium in size, more like size 12 thereabouts. Okay, so now I have this. I have noted where I want my sleeve to be, the sleeve length. Everything is together, and I am connecting this to the shoulder point. I just measured ½ inch there at the tip of the shoulder. Yes, so that it's not going to slope like the regular shoulder. Okay, now this is the length of my sleeve, and watch how I'm drawing it. I'm also coming out here by about 1 inch. It depends on how free you want this gown to be. That 1 inch is not the seam allowance, it's just the ease, how free I want this. And here I measure 10 inches. Okay, the width of that sleeve is 10 inches. So I just connected to the waistline, just as you saw me do. And I'll go ahead to cut the rest of the, to cut out. Here I marked my neck drop. It's not showing very well. But what I marked there is where I want the neck opening to be. You will see what I will use it for, later. Okay? It's very important to mark where you want your neck drop to be. Watch here, I'm giving allowance now. Now is when I put my sewing allowance. See where I'm notching? So the first 1 inch I marked on that waistline is the ease, not the sewing allowance. I hope you understand. So here I've cut out the back pattern, and I'll go ahead and work the front pattern rather, sorry, and I'll go ahead to work on the back pattern. Just pin the back pattern down, just as you can see me do, and then I'll go ahead to modify the neckline. Just be attentive, you will understand everything I did. Be watchful, you will understand everything I did. Now I'm marking 1/2 inch there, just as I did in front, and I'm dropping the back. This dropping is a mistake. I'm not supposed to drop it because the collar is going to be high. And here I realized the mistake. Okay, please, is very, very possible in pattern making. That's why I did not cut it off, so that you will see that it's possible. I raised back what I cut out, which is 1/2 inch, and yes, that is, I now added my seam allowance. Here I am doing my back tightening. I want to just add that tightening to give it that shape at the back. Okay, it's an afterthought, so I decided to put my back tightening. I hope you understand. You shouldn't be confused at all, as this is just the normal thing. Okay, so I'm just cutting off the back tightening, and that is all. I placed my pattern back and pinned it down, and I'll go ahead to cut. Please don't drop the center back at the neck. Okay, this correction I made, note it. Here I'm marking my sleeve length, and I still raised the shoulder tip by 1/2 there. I raised it by 1/2 so that it doesn't slope like a regular shoulder. I hope you understand. Watch how I'm taking it, and that is it. I've raised that neckline at the center part. You will only remove 1/2 inch by the side of the neck. I hope you understand. Now, having done that, I'll go ahead and measure 10 inches just like in front, and 1 inch just like in the front pattern. I'll connect just as I did for the front pattern, and that is it. So here is my back pattern already cut out, as you can see, and yeah, this is the front and that is the back. Ensure to put your notches. I just drew the sleeve to be exactly the same with the front. Okay, ensure to put your notches. Now I'm going to work on the back pattern. This is the back of the back skirt. I mean the skirt pattern rather, not the back pattern. Okay, I have pinned down the back skirt, and I'm going ahead to alter it the way I want. Watch closely. So what I'll just do here is to add my ease. You know that this dress is a free dress, so that is why I'm adding ease. I'll first of all mark my dart point. I will remove the dart by the side of that. Because of the shape I want the skirt to have, I removed 1 inch dart. That is what I cut out from the side waist. Okay, I hope you understand. And I'm going ahead to mark my ease 1 inch all through. I hope you understand. So after marking that 1 inch, I also marked the center back. I'm using my pattern master to draw the center back to the hem of the skirt. Okay, so now this is the complete length of the skirt, not the length of this pattern. The pattern is shorter than how I want the skirt to be, so I made it up. Here I'm adding my sewing allowance as I'm cutting this side. I hope you understand. The first 1 inch I added is just the ease, and you can see how I cut it. I'm also adding allowance at the center back, allowance that looks like zipper allowance, but then I'm not using zipper for this cloth because it's a free dress, but I'm taking all this shape because of how I want it to look. Do yours like this and you will definitely get the same result. Now I'm going ahead to cut the front skirt. I've already made the pattern and I gave like 2 inches. Yes, 2 inches. That is what I'm marking from the fold line of the skirt. Now I mark 2 inches down and I'm marking this at the back side of the fabric, please. I placed the skirt pattern on that 2 inches that I marked, and I will go ahead to take my ease. This is ease, please, it's not seam allowance. I've already removed the darts from the waistline of the front. I've removed the darts already. So I'm connecting my ease, and yes, this is what I got. Now the next thing to do is to cut it out first. So now this is my sewing allowance that I am adding as I'm cutting it out. I hope you understand. The first 1 inch is the ease. Watch where I'm notching. Beautiful. Now I'm going ahead to mark the back properly. I'm just marking my slit line. Okay, I marked the dart point and took 2 inches. The 2 inches I added on fold earlier, that is what I took on both sides of that slit, and I'm going to cut through. That 2 inches is for this slit. Okay, this is for the slit because I want the slit to be an overlapped slit. I hope you understand. Now I've cut open the side, that is the left side of the front skirt pattern. Having cut it out, this is what I have. Okay, so I'm done here with my skirt and the bodice patterns. I've gone ahead to cut the linings of each of them, every one of them. I actually want to do this thing like not putting it a lining, but my client likes lining on her clothes, so I'm going to make it in a way that it will look as if I did not put it lining. I'm going to join it like it doesn't have lining, but then I will still add my lining. Okay, so watch closely to see how I join this. I'm joining this fabric to fabric, lining to lining, just for the shoulder, because I want that place to be inside and seamless. Okay, so that is what I'm doing here. I'll go ahead and join it. As you can see, I've joined it and I've also serged it. Okay, I know it will be inside, but then I just serged it to look neat and fine. Okay, so here I am joining the lining pieces with the fabric pieces. So I'm joining it together and I will join it together all through just as I am pointing. I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what I have. You can see the opening in center front. That is where our collar will be. Now you can see that the center front is also slightly longer than the back. That is also how I want it. I don't want the front half length to be altered, and that is why I closed the side boards, that I didn't just cut it straight. Okay, I hope you learned that. Now I will go ahead to measure the neckline. The whole part I'll be putting the neckline. Okay, after measuring it, whatever you get, that is what you are going to cut out on another fabric. Okay, so that is what you're going to cut out on another fabric. Now I'm trying to cut the neckline here. I placed fabric on fold just like so, and I'll measure the length to be the length of what I just measured now. That is the neckline. I'm just marking about, I think, 2 inches on fold. No, the sleeve is 1.5, the collar is 1/3 by width, okay, I will just add ½ inch sewing allowance. It's 1/3 by width. So as it's unfold now is 1/3, but if you open it up is about 3.5 inches. Okay, then you add sewing allowance of 1 inch, which will be, if you open it up, it will be 4.5 inches. I hope you understand. But if you close it up, it's about 2 1/4. So that ½ inch will be the seam allowance, leaving us with 1/3 inches, which is the width of the collar. Now the length of the collar is also the length that we measured round the neck. Okay, I hope you understand. Now I'm just going ahead to put notches where is necessary, and of course I will place this just to know where I need my neck drop. I hope you understand now. Anywhere you mark your neck drop, this is why you will not throw away that front pattern till you are done. In fact, don't throw away any of your patterns till you are done. So I marked it. I'm notching the center back now because I'll be starting from that center back and stitch it round to the front waist, and then the other side to the other side of the front waistline. I hope you understand. Just watch closely, you understand what I mean. I'm also marking the neck drop. Okay, that's why I measured from the center back neck till where I want the neck to drop. So I also marked the points on this collar. Now I will go ahead and close it up there. Okay, I've marked it. Watch closely to see how I am going to stitch this. Okay, I will first of all apply my hairstay to it. Because it's a collar, I've applied hairstay. I don't want it to be too stiff, that's why I'm using hairstay. I'm going ahead to mark that neck drop. It's even showing through the hairstay. I'll just sew down that middle. I'm marking the middle line. I'll just sew it down, leaving the upper part open. I've stitched it down, and this is what I have. You can see the neck. Okay, it's also in place to try this out on your neck and see if it is tight or if it can pass through. Okay, now this is what I did, and if you feel it cannot pass through your neck, you can as well open it up a bit now. Okay, drop your neck a bit now so that the neck can pass through this neckline. I hope you understand. Now I'm going to go ahead to stitch it down. Just as I said, I will start from the back neck, the middle back, and I will stitch it all around. Here I have stitched it. You can see the excess in that front waistline. Yes, I purposely added extra while cutting the length of this collar just in case. So I'll go ahead and trim out that excess that is in the front. Okay, I'll just go ahead, and you see what I did. I've serged and I'm just about cutting the sleeve. I want the sleeve to have an addition, just like the neckline, to strike a balance, like to have a uniformity, if you understand what I mean. So this is how I placed my sleeve on fold, and I'm also measuring 1/3 inches, just like the neckline. Okay, having measured it, I'll place it like so, and I will cut it out. When I cut it out, I'll now give ½ inch allowance and cut it just like so. I'll also go ahead and apply hairstay to it, and yes, this is what I have. I've applied my hairstay. I will just join it through and join it to the sleeve. I hope you understand. I've closed it up, and I will be adding it to the tip or the hem of that sleeve. I'm going to use it to hem the sleeve. Starting from the shoulder line there, I will also pin down the middle of this just like so, and I'll go ahead to sew it down around the sleeve. You can see I've sewn it down, and I've also serged. I've serged it. I'll go ahead and close up the sides. You can see how beautiful it's looking, and you can see how I'm sewing it. As I said, I'm making it as if it doesn't have a lining, but yes, it has a lining. So that is why I'm using this method of joining together. I've also joined together the upper part, and here I am joining the skirt. Here is the front part of the skirt, and I'm going to use the guideline of 2 inches to stitch this seam down, the slit. I'm going to use that guideline 2 inches to stitch it down. Okay, and this is the back. I will also go ahead to stitch the back, the zipper allowance. There is no zip there, so I'm going to stitch it all through down with the seam allowance added there. I'm just going to stitch it all through. So when I'm done stitching it, this is what I have. You can see the front part. I've used the 2 inches that I added while cutting to stitch it down, and I'll push the slit to one side. I'll push the slit to one side because it's going to be a flap. Here I've done that, and I'm joining the skirt together. I'm joining the skirt and the front and the back skirt together. I've joined it by the side, and yes, this is what I have. After joining, this is the slit. You can see that it's not a slit, actually it's a flap. Okay, I made mine as a flap. Okay, now I'll be closing it up with hemming gum, just like so. You know, the upper lapping part of this opening is what I am going to iron down with hemming gum. You can also tack to make it super strong or super hemmed, okay, but don't use sewing machine to sew that. You can use hemming gum or you tack it down. Now, having done that, I'm going to iron everything in place and then hem the lower part. You can see I have hemmed it, and this is what I have for the skirt. You can see how the flap is. It's not a slit, so I'll be joining this. But before then, you measure your parameters, take your measurements again, and be sure that everything is intact the way you want it with the extras. I added some extras, that is ease to the gown because it's not a tight one. You can see how the bodice and the skirt waist are matching exactly. That's the benefit of accurate measurements. And yes, this is what I have after joining it together. The next thing I'm going to do is to work on where the lacing of the waist is going to pass through. Now I measured a strip of about 2 inches, okay, and this is how I will close up this edge and also close up the other edge. The length of this is the length of the waistline of this gown, and I will fold in half inch on both sides of this fabric that I cut out. I hope you understand. The length of this fabric is the length of the waistline of this dress, and the width is 2 inches. Then I folded it half inch on both sides, and it's left with 1 inch. Now this is how I'm going to pin it down all through the waist and then stitch on both sides of this. Okay, now I've stitched on both sides of this, and see there is a hole, there is a space, that is where the lacing is going to pass through. Okay, this is what I have. I've embellished it, the neckline and the sleeve. I used stones to add some blinks to it. Okay, now here what I am doing right here is I'm just trying to make the lacing. Okay, the lacing of this, you can cut out 2 inches width again, but the length is about 45 times 2, that's about 90 inches. Okay, I joined the length of wrapper twice, but the width is 2 inches. I hope you understand. Sorry about my camera here. I don't know what is going on right here, how the video turned out. I don't know what happened here, honestly. So here I'm just using my safety pin to pass the lacing. Okay, I'm just using my safety pin. I believe you know how to do this, or you can use your bodkin, anyone you have. Just pass the lacing through the waist, and yes, let it come out from the other end. This is what will be used to snatch the waist when you want to snatch it. You can also leave it unsnatched if you don't want to snatch it. Okay, now this is what I have, and this gown is so beautiful. This gown is so beautiful, and my client got a lot of compliments for this gown, lots of it. Now this is what I have, and yeah, this is the lacing. Okay, I finished up the tip of the lacing somehow. I don't know, the footage had issues, I think, because of what my camera is doing, I don't know, but then the footage, but part of it is captured here. But if you are interested in knowing exactly how I finished up the tip of that lacing, of course I'll share it with you here. It may be a short video, but yes, I'll be willing to share it. So that is what I am measuring here. I measured about, I think, 3 inches, square. I made 3 inches squared at the sides are 3 inches. So this is what I did. I just folded it to form a triangle like so, and you just iron it down. When you iron it down, you just sandwich the tip of the lacing in between it and stitch it down. This is the result. Okay, what you can see here is the result of the lacing tip after I have closed it up. But I can share how I did that with you. And after making the dress, I noticed that I omitted the pocket. I actually thought it didn't have a pocket till I looked at the picture I was trying to duplicate, and yeah, I decided to add my pocket. Here I measured 2 inches, measured the around hand, and measured 6 inches. Okay, that is what I did. 2 inches from the waistline and 6 inches from this 2 inches mark. That is all. Now I'm going to put my pocket in the space. Okay, this is my pocket. You'll be familiar with this. I have made a lot of inside pockets in this channel, and here will just be the length of my palm. I hope you understand. Okay, the length of my hand plus about 2 inches. That is the depth of that pocket. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and stitch round it. The opening of that pocket is my around hand plus 2 inches too. Okay, the depth is my hand length plus 2 inches, and the width is my around hand plus 2 inches as well. Okay, now this is how I am going to place it and stitch it down on both sides of that allowance. I'm going to stitch the 2 points, that is the 2 inches and then the 6 inches drop. Stitch it down. Ensure you stitch it down before you rip off the seam so that it will not loose from there. Okay, I've stitched down the 2 edges of this pocket before losing the seam. Okay, just rip off the seam in between. That is what I am doing here. I'm ripping the seam in between there. Okay, and that is it. Our pocket is complete, and this is what I have. You can see the pocket opening, and this is the result after I have finished it. This is the beautiful result I got. I didn't lace it up here. You can also lace it up. Okay, this is where it is laced up. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you all for watching. I love you all, and of course I'll see you in my next one. Bye.